Have you ever wondered how far desperate politicians are willing to go to take down their opponents? Within an hour or so after the U.S. Supreme Court ruled on the Colorado case, letting states know that they do not have the authority to use Section 3 of the 14th Amendment's insurrection clause because it's at the federal level, the Democrats immediately went into panic mode. The party has reached a new level of desperation in their quest to stop Trump at all costs. And they realize their efforts to rig the 2024 election through lawfare is failing miserably. They are now resorting to literally trying to outlaw, to criminalize their political opposition. Joe Biden tried to outlaw or criminalize MAGA supporters with communist-like propaganda against all 80 million or so American voters. And now we have Democrat loser Jamie Raskin going on CNN desperately trying to explain a plan to use Trump's second impeachment as a vehicle to create a federal law that targets Trump, making it so that he can't run in November. They're nuts. If this doesn't tell you that they already know how the election is going to go, then nothing else will. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back. So no sooner was the Supreme Court's ruling to strike down the Colorado Supreme Court's decision to remove Donald Trump from their state ballot released, the Democrats went right into panic mode and are now scrambling to come up with other ways to get Trump. Jamie Raskin, a Democrat representative from Maryland, is one of the lowest forms of life you could imagine. Raskin was the impeachment manager for the Democrats' second bogus impeachment against Trump, where they produced a single article of impeachment for incitement of insurrection. Now, these days, you have to remind Democrats that they did not impeach Trump for insurrection. They impeached him for incitement of insurrection, which is quite different. You also have to remind the Democrats that he was acquitted in the U.S. Senate. Now, Raskin will argue that Trump participated in an insurrection because he incited one, therefore he participated. No one ever argued that Jamie Raskin was intelligent. Give this a watch.
I am working with a number of my colleagues, including Debbie Wasserman Schultz and Eric Swalwell, to revive legislation that we had to set up a process by which we could determine that someone who committed insurrection is disqualified by Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. And the House of Representatives already impeached Donald Trump for participating in insurrection by inciting it. So the House has already pronounced upon that.
All right. So I don't think any American with a triple-digit IQ believed it because Donald Trump was nowhere near the riot that broke out. He had no idea that a riot was taking place when he said those famous words, "And now we will march peacefully and patriotically to the Capitol to let our voices be heard." How is asking for a peaceful march inciting an insurrection? The problem they had with Trump is known as the crime of noticing. The Democrats stole the 2020 election, and Trump openly argued about it. They didn't like that. Most Americans know that there was no insurrection on January 6th, even if some of them won't admit it. It was a 2.5-hour riot in which less than 5% of the people there for the protest participated. No one was there to overthrow the government. No one brought weapons to overthrow the government. Following the release of some of the January 6th video, it became clear that Capitol Police, who were firing rubber bullets and tear gas into crowds of nonviolent protesters, were the ones who incited the riot. But the Democrats are desperate to keep Trump out of the White House again because he will make America great again, and the Democrats hate America. Raskin said that he wants to use the fact that the House already impeached Trump for insurrection to get this law passed. But as I said, Trump already answered to that in a Senate trial, and he was acquitted. End of story, full stop. One of the problems Raskin has with this argument is that an impeachment is not a criminal case. It is political. The Democrats cannot now say that because the House already impeached Trump, during the last session, by the way, that they can now use this to move forward in the Senate with a bill that will allow them to charge Trump with insurrection. In other words, the Democrats want to rig this like they attempt to rig everything in their favor. They should be reminded that they are no longer the majority in the House. They don't get to make those decisions anymore. They want to bypass the House's involvement in a bill that will target Donald Trump. That's all illegal. It's all unconstitutional. It's ludicrous, but it's the Democratic Party of 2024. Now, at this point, I believe the Democrats are going to continue with extreme measures like this, not to wait for the day of punishment to come. but because they think it will stop Trump from being able to campaign and win the election in November. It is election interference at its best. The idea is to tie the candidate up in court so that he can't focus on his campaign. How's that worked so far? This is why Democrats are dumb as a box of hair. Trump has already won every primary that counts. And I believe today will be a massive tidal wave of Trump wins for Super Tuesday primary. If everything they have thrown at him so far hasn't stopped him from being this far ahead in the primaries, then they should just give it up. Learn to weld. They're not going to stop him. Not only is Trump leading Nikki Haley in the primaries, but he's also leading Joe Biden in many of the polls. All right, guys, smash that like button if you think the Democrats have completely lost the plot when it comes to Trump. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Please share these videos with like-minded friends who want to stay informed with what's really going on. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in the next.